fear gripped the crowd that day at Jairus' home. When the doctor shook his head and said, "She's gone," you could feel the mother's heart break. You could hear them cry and mourn. That little girl was only 12 years old. Somewhere in the distance, outlined against the sun, there came a man on a mission from the throne. They said, "Look, somebody's coming," but what they did not know, it was their promise coming down that dusty road.
There's a promise coming down that dusty road.
Coming down your dusty road.
From His holy hands, healing virtues flow.
Yes, healing virtues flow.
Here's to what you did.
Yes, death and hell it will defeat. There's a promise coming down your dusty road.
There's a promise coming down that dusty road.
Coming down your dusty road.
From His holy hands, healing virtues flow. He's constant. Here's to what you did.
Death and hell it will defeat. There's a promise coming down your dusty road.
There's a promise coming down that dusty road.
Coming down your dusty road.
Holy hands, healing virtues flow.
Yes, healing virtues flow.
Here's to what you did.
Yes, death and hell it will defeat. There's a promise coming down your dusty road.
The wonder turned to mocking when Jesus did speak. For he said, "Your daughter's not dead, she's just asleep." Then he turned to the unbelievers and he told them all, "Go home." They heard him say, "Leave me at death alone." Then he laid his hands upon the child. He looked death right in the eye. He said, "All power in heaven and on earth belongs to me." And with a voice that sounds like thunder, he held death asunder. And then he said, "Little girl, rise and be healed." There's a promise coming down that dusty road. Your dusty road.
Holy hands, healing virtues
Yes, healing virtues flow.
Here's to what you did.
Yes, death and hell it will defeat. There's a promise coming down your dusty road.
There's a promise coming down your dusty road.
Your dusty road.
His holy hands, healing virtues flow. He's constant. Here's to what you did.
Death and hell it will defeat. There's a promise coming down your dusty road.
Jesus is the,
Promise of salvation.
he is the,
Promise of deliverance.
he gives us
Victory by His holy word.
and there's no problem that can stand the name of Jesus when I call, because the
Promise is right here in our midst.
Jesus is the,
Promise of salvation.
he is the,
Promise of
he
deliverance.
gives us
Victory by His holy word.
and there's no problem that can stand the name of Jesus when we call, because the promise is right here.
In our midst.
There's a
Promise coming down that dusty road.
your dusty road.
His holy hands, healing virtues flow. His love's like
Peace to what you need. Death and hell it will defeat.
the promise coming down that dusty road. There's a promise coming down coming.
I bet